15 things tourists should know before visiting Myanmar. Myanmar is still a developing tourist destination, with many rural areas relatively peaceful, and that bit away from the backpacker path. The people and culture have deep Buddhist roots, many of which are reflected in their customs. In order to avoid standing out and making Myanmarese people uncomfortable, here are 15 things tourists should never do in Myanmar. Number 1. Don't point your feet. It is not acceptable for anyone, including visitors, to point their feet at someone or something, especially figures of the Buddha. It is considered very rude, as feet are considered to be the most disrespectful part of the body. Keep feet off furniture, as well. Number 2. Never touch someone's head. In the same way that feet are considered to be disrespectful, the head is considered to be the most sacred part of a person's body. Because of this, it is extremely bad-mannered to touch anyone's head, even if it's done in a friendly manner. Some might consider it to be okay to touch children's heads, but to be safe, avoid touching this part of the body, no matter a person's age. Number 3. Do not wear shoes in pagodas or on temple grounds. Visitors to the pagodas and temples should remove their shoes before entering, including socks, any type of footwear. Myanmaris are very religious people and take their Buddhist beliefs seriously. Disregarding these rules is considered to be incredibly impolite. If visitors are unsure as to where they are to take their shoes off because of a lack of obvious instructions, it is better to better safe than sorry, and simply remove your footwear. Number 4. Don't leave knees and shoulders exposed when visiting religious structures. Knees and shoulders should be covered before visiting any religious places. Even in Bagan, where many of the pagodas and temples do not have anyone watching or keeping track of who is coming and going, it is important to be respectful regardless. Remember that the country can reach very high temperatures, so be sure to wear clothing that is light but also covers these areas of the body. Number 5. Don't ride a motorbike in the city center of Yangon. This is actually a law. Motorbikes are supposedly banned in the main parts of Yangon for safety reasons. This may take some getting used to, since most other major hubs in the region allow the use of motorized bikes. Motorbikes and electric scooters can be ridden in townships on the outskirts of Yangon as well as in other cities. Number 6. Don't improperly use the image of Buddha. Portraying the image of Buddha in ways deemed inappropriate in Myanmar may result in severe consequences. Images of Buddha in the form of tattoos should be covered, especially if on the lower extremities. Prints resembling Buddha on clothing shouldn't be worn, and posing inappropriately with a statue of Buddha should never, ever seem like a good idea at the time. Number 7. Never party or climb on pagodas where visitors are not allowed. It is illegal for anyone to party, sleep or drink on any of the pagodas, temples, and other religious structures found in Myanmar. Visitors should also be aware of which pagodas and temples they are not permitted to climb, as well. There are usually fairly clear indicators of where these places are. However, tourists have been known to climb over or around preventative measures, such as railings, and venture to restricted areas. Number 8. Don't stay in a hotel or hostel that is not registered. Those visitors who first want to visit Myanmar will see that the visa application requires tourists to fill out a hotel or hostel address when they apply. This is because all of the accommodation options must be approved by the Burmese Ministry of Tourism. Be sure to book in advance, as prices tend to rise as more and more visitors continue to make their way to Myanmar, and rooms can oftentimes be in short supply during the high season. Number 9. Avoid using your left hand. Visitors who use their left hand to accept or give things can be considered especially rude. Instead, be sure to only use your right hand or both. Number 10. Avoid using a fork to eat. A fork and spoon are both needed to eat cuisine in Myanmar. The food is pushed onto the spoon, with a fork in the visitor's left hand before being devoured. Knives are hardly used around the country. It is not necessarily considered rude to use utensils as one would in Western countries, however, as in most cases it is better to do and dine as the locals do. Number 11, don't take old bills to exchange. Those tourists making their way to Myanmar need to be sure the bills they wish to exchange are relatively new and undamaged. Any US dollars that are not up to par with Myanmar's seemingly high standards will likely be turned away, especially at the international airports. Do not get rid of these bills just yet though, as many accommodation options will accept these older, or crumbled bills without any problems. Just be sure you have enough when leaving the airport for a taxi. Number 12, don't sit and watch everyone else enjoy a meal. Meals in Myanmar are best enjoyed in the company of others and food is to be shared. Locals often eat from the same smattering of tasteful Burmese dishes covering a table, so dig right in. Grab a spoon with your dominant hand, a fork with the other, a pair of chopsticks if preferred, or just use your hands if those around you are. It may take some getting used to, but such a communal way of eating adds even more flavor to the overall dining experience in Myanmar. Number 13, don't forget to bring toilet paper. Toilet paper isn't always an option in public restrooms throughout Myanmar, so be sure to pack some tissues if this is a necessity. Sprayers are usually available to help rinse after going to the bathroom. In less populated parts of Burma, it's more common to see an area near the toilet bowl, or squat toilet filled with water, and a smaller dish to help with flushing and cleansing. Number 14, don't sleep without a mosquito net. Myanmar is tropical, and with tropical climates come monsoon rains, excessive heat and humidity, relentless mosquitoes, and supersized pests. Sleeping within some sort of protective netting is advised whenever possible, and not only to keep out the mosquitoes. Think spiders, cockroaches, and other creepy crawlies. Nets can be found at most stores for a decent price. The majority of hotels or guest houses don't provide them. Number 15, don't travel to areas of conflict. With security issues in the country, it's important that you stay safe and stick to areas that have no ethnic or religious conflicts in action. Certain restricted areas require special permits to enter, and should be avoided. Despite the regime change, religious persecution is still a violent problem in Burma. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel.